Good morning, YouTube family. Martinez Country Home here. Today's March 12th, 2021. So, hope everybody's having a great weekend. Last night, I was talking to my wife, and, we're just talking about, everything that's going on, that conversation. And what the point of the conversation was that, a lot of people are not preparing for, as far as like in particular food, right? They're not stocking up on food like they should. They have the normalcy bias, and that like a lot of our conversations that led up to like on a tangent, right? So I was reading reports of how there's gonna be just because of the exports that are all the wheat that the Ukraine and Russia export. If I'm not mistaken, they export like 40% of the world's grains, right? That's how much they export, and they will not be exporting that this year, for various reasons. We know that China bought like something like 50% of the world's grains, and so as we were talking about this, I just got to thinking how we always, I've been prepping for years. Well, I haven't been prepping for years. I called myself a prepper, but I was more like, what it was is that I could tell by what's going on in the world, at least in my opinion. I felt that I could tell when the signs that told me that things are starting to go sideways and it's time to really step it up, right? So we were talking about how we used to talk, how in the past, when I had like woken up and I realized how this world really works, right? And the agendas of the elites and the ruling class, or whatever, what they wanted, which was basically control of the world, right? Just to make a long story short. And so I was always aware of the different ways that they were going to be doing this, like with Agenda 21, the buzzwords that they like to use: sustainability, climate change, and all these things, right? So I knew, or I from all the information that was out there, I knew eventually that we were gonna go into a hardcore tyranny where the government was gonna just, little by little, they were building up to enslave us all, like, but overtly, right? So far they've been doing this. It's been under the water, under the radar, and it was a shock to me how, with the health crisis in March of 2020, how it just came like that. Like they ripped the blinders off, right? They tore down the veil and said, here we are, and you're gonna do what you're told. And everybody, so when that was going on with the health crisis, like in Italy and China, and how they were locking down people, that's when I started. That's when I kind of like started picking up, like, you know what, it's time to prepare. I always knew, or I always felt, that Agenda 21 was a real thing. Agenda 2030, I mean, it's on there. The papers are right there, right? Like in Brazil, when they first met, like I think it was in 1992. We always figured that this was some kind of tyranny was coming, that the governments were going to try excuse me, started taking over the private property, limit the everyday people's ability to obtain private property or to keep it. And with the health crisis, I was like, okay, I was like, wow, so this is how they're doing it. This is how they're going to bring down um, the shtf, right? This is how it's happening. This is how it's going to come about because of this, right? Uh, when they locked down everybody, or they said, like here in America, here in Texas, they said, you have to stay at your house or whatever. You can only travel if you have it's essential, right? Go to your jobs, um or you got to go to the doctor, or you're gonna go to the groceries, you got to go get food, right? That was okay. Those were the reasons that you can leave your house, right? And I remember thinking, to myself, right? I was like, well, why don't just people, leave your house, just go, and if they pull you over, which they didn't, they weren't, but just tell them, hey, you're going to the groceries, right? Easy. I'm on my way to go get groceries or whatever. Make it up. And nobody did that. It didn't even, I don't think it occurred to to a lot of people that, you know, to just leave. And, I mean, if you get pulled over or something, um, you know, just make it up. But my point is that it was that lockdown was really kind of like psychological, because it really wasn't a lockdown. You really didn't have to do that. You didn't really have to stay home. Um, they didn't, honestly, they didn't really limit anybody to do anything. People just took it, and they obeyed, or they I don't know. Um, they just went home, and they stayed home. They didn't go nowhere. I know a lot of people that literally stayed home. They would not really come out of their houses. Um, when they did, they were all messed up and everything. But anyway, guys, the point is that it was revealed to me that this was how they were gonna bring about these situations that I had been hearing about, all these conspiracy theories that I had been hearing about for years. And it was like, wow, like, okay, so this is how they're gonna do it. I know one of the ways they started was, to me, it's broken up into parts. The first time really that really um set up everything was 9/11, right? 9/11, all the whole thing with 9/11, and y'all know what I'm talking about. To me, that was an inside job, um in my opinion. To me, the evidence and just everything regarding that, to me, was the the setup, right? You had the NDAA come into effect and all these things. So we're talking about the Ukraine and Russian war. Um, already supplies were there was a supply shortage because of the health crisis. So in my opinion, guys, it just feels like the health crisis was like a boxer, and they gave us a 1-2 punch, and that was the first blow to set us up for what's happening now in Ukraine and Russia. The Ukraine and Russia, that's the next shot that they're giving us to 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 bring us to our knees. I'm not sure if this is just for the United States, because the United States, for sure, guys, we are under some kind of an attack. Our own politicians are selling us out, which is no surprise, right? But uh, the administration has, they sanctioned Russia. They removed them from SWIFT. They shut down our own oil production. And I'm not sure if y'all have heard of the Hegelian dialectic, but sometimes I think that because a lot of people were against the pipeline because they were building over indigenous people's land, they did take over a lot of private property to build that pipeline. and a lot of people raised an uproar, right? Uh, and I almost think that this is almost like the Hegelian dialectic, where they want to get it built, but there's there's too many people against it. Well, now guess what? There's people that the gas is too high, so we need that pipeline built. Excuse me. So, um, sorry guys, just ate breakfast. Um, so another thing also that was kind of like freaking me out was I was watching these videos of like Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. How ridiculous they sound, guys! Like when they're talking in these press conferences, right? Or when they're meeting with other political figures from like Poland. They were showing Kamala Harris speaking to the president of Poland. Nancy Pelosi with her slurred speech, like she's drunk. Uh, you know, when I was growing up, when you saw the president or the vice president or a senator, whether you liked them or not, there was some kind of gravitas about them, right? Some seriousness when they went and stood up and spoke. They had an aura of authority. Okay, you know what I'm trying to say? Seriousness, right? These are people, elected officials, and they have to conduct themselves with professionalism, and they're statesmen. They're supposed to be statesmen. They represent the United States, and these politicians now, they literally look like clowns, guys. It looks like a production. I think to myself, there's no way anybody can be that ridiculous, and that is the way they talk. And I wonder, are they mocking the United States? Are they mocking us, like, just to let us know that it's over? You know, um, it that's what tells me that we're living in clown world, especially this country. Um, so not to get off track, guys. It just, with everything going on, it seems to me that the Ukraine and Russian war is the next blow, but for all of humanity, and in particular the United States. It's they're gonna try, or they're tearing down everything that was what was America. And I understand, guys. I understand the military, what it did, what all trying to protect the petrodollar, um, as a world reserve currency, and protecting American interests. But in the Ukraine, it's not really the American interest. It's uh, certain politicians' interests. That the Ukraine is literally, it's like that you could call that actually, it's almost like a mafia nation. You know what I'm saying? It's like if the mafia could create a nation, that would be it. There's so much corruption there. And I understand. I'm not naive. There's corruption is everywhere. I mean, it's a business. It's a business, and but anyway, again, I think also it's nighttime when we're having this conversation, and everything seems more in at night. It's more quiet. It's more serious. You know what I'm saying? When the daylight comes up and when the sun comes up in the morning, the sun's out. It's a beautiful day here. It's a little bit cold, but it's a little bit more optimistic. You know what I'm saying? It's not as as spooky, right? Thinking about what's going on, but um, people have to prepare, guys. Then they're not preparing. I guess what I'm trying to say is that they have the shit hits a fan, the shtf that we've been talking about and trying to prepare for and trying to warn others about. It's here. Um, and I think Hollywood kind of did us a disservice, because when we think of an shtf, we think of like a dystopic, uh, not just a dystopic. Uh, well, we we think of it's fires and the city's on fire and um, civil unrest out in the street and you can't go nowhere and you know Mad Max, right? That's what people think of as an SHTF, but SHTF guys is hitting levels, right? It's hitting certain people. Um, some people are gonna start feeling the effects quicker than others, right? And so um, we have to get ready. It's here. Excuse me. Um, it's just I just find it funny that the way that it was the way it came about. I was not expecting uh, the SHTF, right? It's basically doing away with the old system. I mean that's what it is. And so many people try to warn us, right? I mean I remember a lot of people warning us about what was coming, but and I guess they knew that it was doing away with an old system and bringing in the new, but they didn't really articulate it that way. But that's what they were trying to say, and really that's what it is, guys. We're seeing the end of a whole way of life, of just a system, right? But it's almost gradual. Usually it's gradual. It's kind of you just kind of like ease into it, or but this one is like it's gonna be very very violent. It's people are gonna die and uh there's gonna be a lot of hurting, because especially because of the all the money printing and uh they're gonna do away with all that. The politicians and the corporations and the banks, they've bled us dry, guys. They bled us dry, and now they gotta come up with a new way to do that, and that's what the reset is all about. That's what the new world order is all about. um, I hope that they have some kind of good comes out of it because it's gonna happen. But we gotta make it happen to where we have some kind of a say in how it goes. We have some kind of benefit because social credit scores and all these things that they're wanting to bring in. Um, this new generation, they actually like that. They think it's progress. They think it's the modern world. They think it's the future, but they haven't lived long enough to realize how much they've lost, how much freedom they've lost. You know. So anyway, guys, this Ukraine war, Russian war, it's the next blow that the new world order is giving us. And 9/11 did a lot to take away a lot of our freedoms. The health crisis did that also. Um, and now you got the Ukraine and Russian war, and from here it's just gonna keep on going until they just break us down. Um, from what I'm reading, from what I'm hearing, there's gonna be shortages in food because of the grains and all that. There's gonna be inflation. It's gonna be global, guys, because the monetary system, the debt system is worldwide. So um, um, try to get real things, guys. Buy real things with your fake money. Try to convert that into land if possible. But first and foremost, food, water, um, medicine, anything medical related, and things to defend things that you'll be able to defend those three things with. Okay. Um, learn skills. Today we're going out. We're gonna go get some chickens. We have a chicken coop. Um, we're gonna go get our chickens. We're gonna just do things around our. We got a little bit over an acre, almost an acre and a half, and we're preparing, guys. I'm gonna go make some deals with some purveyors, meat purveyors, and so I can lock in some prices and have a supply of food for my family. We just gotta prepare now, guys. In the end, when this system comes in, it's gonna be the everyday people like it's always been. We're the ones that are gonna pull each other through. um, so I wanna. The goal should be where these changes come around, and but our families feel it, don't even feel it. You know what I'm saying? We want them to, for life to be as normal as possible for them. That's my goal, and I hope y'all are able to accomplish that as well for your families. So anyway, guys, to my subs, my new subs, I really appreciate y'all being here. The content creators that, Prepper Now, Never Lose Truth, and Guns Coast to Coast. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all sent me a lot of, I got a lot of new subs because of y'all. Um, and there's a lot of new content creators. Prepping by Faith, I think, is a new one. She's pretty good. Very down to earth. Um, there's a lot of content creators out there, guys, that are just putting out great information, and that's what we're gonna need. We're gonna have to network and help each other out, because it, we talk about it's gonna get dark and all, it's gonna get bad, but a lot of times we think, well, it's not so bad. What are they talking about? Well, it's because we're preparing, guys. So a lot of times we don't even feel how bad it is because we're prepared, and that's the point. So if you think that, well, man, nothing's happening, well, it's because you're prepared. You know what I'm saying? You've prepared, and um, so it's not that it's not bad. It's just that you're prepared and you're not feeling it, and that's the way we want it, guys. Okay. Um. Anyway, y'all enjoy this weekend, guys. For y'all on spring break, I hope y'all have a safe spring break. Just use this time to prepare and spend time with your families, and you know, take care of the things that really matter in this world. Get closer to God. I know I need to do that. I need to pray more. I need to pray more. I need to be a good husband, a good father, a good person. Just all around. That's what I want. Anyway, guys, y'all take care of each other and love each other out there, because that's what we're here for. God bless.